Hello everyone and welcome to a new project. I found some time, especially over the Christmas holidays, to do some recording. So here we are, Legend of Grimrock. This is a really cool RPG. It's kind of old school, but the graphics are up to date, it looks very nice, and I've seen parts of an LP, I've played through the first few levels. It is great fun. So let's start with a new game. And I'll be playing, well, there's easy, hard and normal. I'll be playing on normal. And I want to create my characters myself. I don't want old school mode, because that would require me to work with a stack of papers. I am doing that I've done that in my private playthrough, which I then ended to start the LP. It is very nice, it has that old school RPG feeling of, when, I don't know if you played pen and paper stuff with real people sitting in a room, and you would go into dungeons and you would actually draw maps of the dungeon as you went through. Very cool, and that kind of gives you that feeling again. But I prefer the map, especially for the LP, it's much better. Okay, let's go. And now I can make a group out of 4 prisoners. Yeah, we start off as prisoners, it's kind of Elder Scrolls, but it's fine. There are 4 different races, and each of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. So humans are the most populous of the sentient races in the world. They are very adaptable and can excel in all professions. So we just get 4 skill points as humans. Minotaurs. Minotaurs are bulky, simple and keen to violence. They are tolerated in cities only because of their ability to do labor that demands great strength and stamina. So those are our slow, very big punching machines. As you can see, strength +5, dexterity -4, vitality +4, willpower -3. So they are very strong but not very fast and not very smart. But they can take a lot of punishment. They also only get 1 skill point to start off with, which means they will be slightly less skillful in the beginning, but I believe on level ups they actually get the same amount as everyone else. And they require more food than the other classes, the other races. Yeah, I'll go through the options first. Lizardmen are social outcasts and generally mistrusted due to their capricious and deceitful nature. They are superb in tasks requiring stealth and dexterity, so they have +2 dex, -1 willpower, and 3 skill points to begin with. Insectoids are mostly keep to themselves and rarely wander into the lands of humankind. It is believed that their knowledge of the arcane is unrivaled. So these are our mages. -2 strength, +1 dexterity, -2 vitality, +4 willpower. Meaning they are sort of squishy, but they can dish out magic damage, which is very, very nice. I am not quite certain how I want to roll. I definitely want a Minotaur warrior. So fighters are the masters of close combat and they are trained to use a wide variety of weapons and armor. Obviously a Minotaur as a mage or rogue would be useless. So I will generate random names until I come... Actually the last one was nice, but Gimbo... Blah, I can't pronounce that. I want something slightly short. Cafo. Why not? Let's go with Cafo. But that would be spelled with 2 F's. I have 1 skill point to give him. I will put that into armor. And actually no, I'll keep it for the moment and show you in-game, because we can't quite see all the stuff that these skill points actually do yet. He gets 2 traits. So for a Minotaur I will definitely go, where is it, Headhunter? Which improves my power for each skull that he's carrying. You can find skulls throughout the game in the dungeon. They will sometimes be hidden, sometimes just lying on the ground. And for each of those we get more and more powerful. I don't have any custom portraits. So I'll just go with the default ones. He looks kind of bulky, I'll just choose this Minotaur. The horns aren't quite right for me, but meh, I'll go with it. Yep. Okay. And I can give him a second trait. I could give him increased attack power, which he might actually be using. Dexterity I don't need. Plus strength, no. Energy I don't need. Resisting cold is useless. Evasive, no. No. Fist fighter. No, I will definitely be giving him a weapon. Okay, he can't use natural armor because that's limited to insectoids. I could give him additional vitality or additional health. Okay. I think I will actually go for vitality. That should be healthy. Which vitality affects overall health and stamina, affects the amount of health points gained, and helps to get rid of harmful conditions. So high vitality makes him more resilient in all ways, basically. And I can also spend some points. I have 10 in total, so I will be putting 5 into strength and 5 into vitality. I don't know if that's smart at all. I haven't really dealt much with the game, so let's go with that. Second, I am going for a... Why not? Let's go for a human rogue. And I'll probably be playing with 2 rogues. Yeah. Humans are just kind of your jack of all trades, master of none. And as a rogue, let's go with that look. I don't know, it might be nice to have a female with my team. A name. Give me something that sounds remotely Quelpa? It's terrible. Something that sounds remotely female. Monka. Why not? Let's go Monka. Okay, as a rogue, we obviously want... Actually, I should show that. Rogues are stealthy warriors who can fight with ranged weapons or sneak behind enemies for a deadly backstab attack. So I want high dexterity. Let's go some willpower and a little strength couldn't hurt, I guess, but not much. Okay, available skill points 4. Again, I think I can reserve these until later. Traits. I want you to be definitely agile for increased dexterity, and they should be evasive as well. Because the rogue will be using evasion instead of protection, so the Minotaur, he'll be carrying heavy armor. He'll just be plate mailed, basically, which makes him very difficult to kill eventually. And she will be evasive, so she will be dodging more than tanking. Which is a kind of tanking, I guess, but yeah. More evasion is always nice, so I think that should be okay. And because I want one of every race, this is going to be a lizard man, who's also going to be a rogue. There's only 3 classes, so I'm going to have 1 double anyway. The portraits all look kind of silly. Gamdelf. Sensart. Queen? Murpho. Querak. Let's go with Kerak. Yeah, that works. Again, he's a rogue, but he will be using ranged weapons. So I want him to have more dexterity. Okay, 18 is actually the maximum. And some vitality. Does willpower... no, willpower doesn't actually give me anything except for, I believe, energy points, so I can cast more spells, which he won't be doing. So, vitality... I'll go vitality for him, because I don't think strength does much to the damage of ranged weapons, and we won't have any at the beginning. Okay, traits. He doesn't need to evade as much, so... Dexterity +2, and I'll make him aggressive, so he's a bit more of a damage dealer. He'll be standing in the back row, so he doesn't have to tank much. Okay, and finally a lizard, an insectoid, mage. Mages use their enchanted staffs and orbs to command great mystical powers that can be used to cause harm or to protect. Okay, so maximum of points in willpower, which is 20, and the rest will go into vitality. Yeah, I don't really need anything else on him. Again, the skill points will I'll get to in the game. Then I will give him Strong Mind for additional willpower and Aura for additional energy. Okay, and let's start the game. I know the character creation took a while, but I wanted to go through this in detail and show it all. Mount Grimrock. A towering spire looms above the clouds, a weathered rock that has stood tall for ages, longer than the histories of men have been written. It is a desolate place now, only remembered when things need to be discarded or forgotten. An airship struggles to gain altitude as it floats towards the peak. Four prisoners bound by heavy chains emerge from the ship. The court accuses them of terrible treasonous deeds, but by the grace of the king, their crimes shall be forgiven atop Mount Grimrock. The final trial is at hand. Numerous prisoners have received their pardons here, yet none have returned to live their life in freedom. They are at the very top of the world, and below them only darkness and justice awaits. As they are plunged down in the open moor at the peak, their crimes are absolved. Everyone before them has perished in the guts of the mountain, but will you be able to lead them through the dark and to the freedom that awaits at the base of Mount Grimrock? Legend of Grimrock. And here we are. This is not my first time playing, so I don't need the menu. Okay, you might already notice that the movement, much of this game is grid-based. So, check the map. Tab to open the map, okay. Oh, I can place notes, nice. So it's all in a square grid, basically. That's the spots we can stand on. We can move left and right. Left, right. We can move forward and backward. And we can turn. That's all we can do. Now, the first thing I will do to make it a little easier on your eyes is grab a torch, which actually this writing here tells us, choose your fate, perish in this cell or pick up the torch. Well, obviously, we don't want to perish, do we? And I'm giving this torch to my mage to hold. And now we have a light source with us, but there is actually something in this very first room that sometimes people miss, and that's these kinds of stones, which this little section here cut off from the rest. Those are secret buttons, which do things. We will see those a lot. And in here we have, well, a secret. Some lurker boots. And a throwing star, which I'll give to my ranged rogue. And the lurker boots give evasion +5, so they're not actually for the Minotaur. They will be used by our Monkar. And everyone has skill points to spare, that's why this icon here is blinking. So let's go through these. But I know we can't see much on the map right now, but torches actually get used up. So just look at the menus, those are brightly lit. That should be fine. Now, as I put points into the general magic abilities, and I'll be doing fire magic with him at first, he will gain spells. But right now I don't know which spells they are. You can see there are question marks behind them. And even if I spec 2 points in fire magic, I still don't know what the spell is. It still says question mark. That's because I have to find the spell and learn it. Except I don't really have to. And I will put the remaining 1 point into spellcraft. And that's him done for that level. My lizard. And I can also cycle through these using the key, the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's go to the Minotaur. He only has 1 point, which I will be putting into armors. I haven't quite decided which kind of weapon I want to use yet. I know that all of these have sort of their advantages and disadvantages. It's the usual thing. Axes are kind of in between, I guess. I think swords are fast and low damage. Maces are slow and high damage. I'll have to decide. The rogue has 4 skill points, so I will be putting... I mean, she is the melee guy, so she will need some dodging, which means I'll improve evasion by 2. And she will end up using daggers, but I don't have one yet, so I think I'll leave the remaining skill points. And finally my lizard, he has 3 points, which I will all be putting into missile weapons. I don't have a missile weapon yet. That's, well, not really intentional, but it's the way it is. And annoyingly that level up sign won't go away, but I guess I'll have to deal with that. Okay. You can now re-equip the torch. As for the spells, I know I kind of said I don't really have to learn them. That's because some of the spells I already know how to use. And if I right-click on his hand, left-clicking basically takes the item out of it, so I can use it like that, and right-clicking uses the item. Or uses, in this case, a standard attack. On the mage, however, the hand is kind of glowing because he does magic. And I happen to know that if I activate this first rune, and basically I make the spells this way. I activate the runes to get the right pattern for whichever spell I want to use. And I know that just this very first rune, is a fire burst spell, which I need 2 fire magic to use. And that used up some energy. Okay, I'll keep that ready, because that's actually one of my more powerful damage options at the beginning. And I think that's all there is in this cell. So, by taking that torch, the door opened. And I should be trying to look out for buttons as I go. It's been a few days, well actually a few weeks since I played this, so I'm not intimate with the controls anymore. And I'm hoping it's not too loud. Oh look, we got some clothing, and those are a peasant's tunic for 2 protection, and a peasant's breeches for another 2 protection. And our cow can use all the protection it can get. Okay, now here we have a cudgel. Nice little mace. And I will be taking all them torches and pull the lever. This first level basically introduces us to a lot of the game mechanics. Oh, for example, we have a stone. Sorry about that abrupt cut and such. We have a stone. We can pick up the stones, well, they're called rocks actually. We can pick them up, and you can also use them as throwing weapons. And we can place them on pressure plates, such as these. Now, I'll show you. If I stand on this, it will activate. But if I try to actually go for the door, oh, it closes again. So I have to place an item on top of this. And I could place any item on it. I could take the armor, for example. That would work. But obviously I want to keep the armor, whereas the rock doesn't really have that much use. I mean, it's decent as a weapon, but not really required. And tap for the map. Actually, in the first room, I'm just a perfectionist. These sort of unbordered areas here mean I haven't fully explored yet. It's not like there's anything in there, but now that looks better. I'll try to avoid doing that too much, and I'll try to avoid walking past stuff. But sometimes it's just my OCD kicks in and I have to do it. Okay, and here we are. I think that's just about where I left. Okay. We have found a brass key. And I'm still on the lookout for these hidden buttons. There's a lot of them. I'll try to show all the secrets there are, but I doubt I'll find them all. When I play by myself, I tend to spend a lot of time looking for them. But on video, I try to cut down on that a little. And you might have noticed that in each of our characters, I can close this usually, but they all have a food bar, which eventually will go hungry. And that means we don't regain health and energy anymore, which is bad. We have an experience up to the next level. Currently have 0 experience because we haven't actually killed anything. We have evasion, which is self-explanatory. Protection as well. Energy and health, that's the red and the blue bar. Again, all very easy to understand. And our melee characters will use energy for special attacks, and of course the mage uses them for its spells. Yeah, I think the rest should be pretty much standard RPG stuff. Okay, we found the key. Don't believe there's really anything else here. No. So let's go and use the key. And it gets consumed after using. Here we need another kind of key. We don't have that. So let's go right here. Loose rock. And that basically points me to these hidden buttons. And you can come with me. And these will usually contain secrets. But as you can see, there are also instances where you actually need to open those hidden places to progress. Okay. Don't think there's anything else right here. No. So... Oh! Our first enemy! Yay, it's a giant snail. It's not very dangerous, but... we don't really have many spells yet either. Oh, and I cornered myself nicely. Okay, well that wasn't too bad. And throwing weapons, as the enemy dies that I throw them at, he drops them, and I can pick them back up again. And that snail didn't drop me any food either. Nice. By holding the right mouse button clicked, I can kind of look around. It's not really needed at any time, but it gives me a bit more of a view. Okay, we have boots. And the default place for all my stuff to go is to the cow, because he can carry the most. Except for torches, which go to my backline rogue at the moment, because he can't attack with melee attacks from the back. Okay, let's look through what we found. Boots, which give 4 protection, pants, which give 3 protection. So I'm going to give these pants to my rogue now, my frontline rogue. Okay, we have a bunch of torches, which is nice. We need a lot of them eventually. Okay, and a knife, which is a dagger, which definitely goes to her. And it also means I can spec daggers now and feel good about it, because it actually has a use now. Well, hey. Okay, so this was the introductory episode. I will render and upload this now, and I guess, well, I can save the game quite easily. This is, I think, from streaming the game. That's where these save games come from. I don't know how long it'll take, so I'll go LP001. And I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please let me know what you think, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.